Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us at the Fearless Women Redefining Motherhood Conference. My name is Keisha Blunt. I am the founder of the Me First Mommy program and creator of this conference. I started this conference because I wanted to prove to moms that you can absolutely live out your dreams and also be a great mom. I wanted to crush all the excuses moms give for not taking care of themselves and making the best choices for themselves. I want you to realize that you don't have to put your life or dreams on hold because you are a mom. I chose to honor mompreneurs on this conference because mompreneurs are moms who decided to pursue their dreams. They're living out their life's passion successfully while balancing businesses and motherhood. I'm so excited to bring to you or to announce to you this speaker. She is an excellent speaker who pulls no punches. She is an excellent speaker who also gives it to you bluntly and unapologetically. I'm speaking of Vanessa Canteberry. Vanessa Canteberry is the founder and CEO of InspiredByVanessa. She was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. She's determined to continue to break the cycle of poverty, negligent, and unnecessary hardship. Vanessa worked in corporate America for 20 years as a secretary. After being laid off in 2001, she knew something needed to change, knowing she was a single parent of 3. Vanessa was not able to obtain employment, and the mere thought of being unable to support her son attending high school and 2 daughters attending college was unbearable. For that reason, Vanessa challenged herself. She took a stand on faith and changed her mindset. Now she is a business owner, speaker, coach, and upcoming author, working from the comfort of her own home. She is also committed to teaching individuals how they too can become a business owner and overcome obstacles in their life. Inspired by Vanessa stands on faith and refuses to allow fear to void visions that need to be seen and heard on so many platforms. So Vanessa, thank you again for joining us today.
I thank you. I thank you for this opportunity to allow me to be able to pour into other ladies to let them know that it's so possible to live your best life.
Right, absolutely. So I just want to explain to the ladies that, after I heard you speak for the first time, I just said, wow, I need to let her get on this platform and just do her thing, because initially this was supposed to be an interview type setting. But I said, this woman, she's such a great speaker, I just need to let her talk. So I'm going to give you that opportunity, to just tell us about your story, how you got started, where you are now, and then we can talk more about how the ladies listening can get involved in your business.
Well, it took for me to be able to shift my mindset after being laid off. Majority, we're taught to just go to school, get us a job, and go to school and then go to work. But what happens after that? What happens? What if life takes a different turn? What if you become ill? What if you come like me? I was laid off. What if? It's always that what if. But at the end of the day, there's a why. Why do you need to move forward so you can be able to do the best thing that you would love to do, and you don't have to apologize to anybody for going after what you know you're worth and what you're great at, right? And so when I was laid off, it took me to hit rock bottom. When I say rock bottom, I almost lost everything, every single thing that I worked for. Even though I was living paycheck to paycheck, I still had a consistent paycheck coming in. But now I'm only receiving unemployment. Even though I thought I had enough money, I thought I had enough 401k, I thought I had enough in my savings. But the economy has changed. Then what? And so I had to be able to take a harsh reality look at my situation. What do you need to do next? Are you willing to do the work? Are you open to be able to do the work, be a student, to learn how to be successful? Because success leaves clues. So if I see success is leaving clues, why am I not picking up these pieces so I can put the puzzle together, right? And so by doing that, I remember the day that I said, you know what, I no longer want this life. I no longer want to try to fight and compete to get a job with all the experience that I have. I no longer want to do that. I know there's something more for me, but I have to go back down to my foundation, and my foundation is God. And so I have to go to him and like, okay, what do I do? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have that family support. I can't call and say, can you help me pay these bills? Can you help me, get my son back and forth to school? I did not have that, but I know I have a foundation. I know I could always lean on him. So sometimes we need to be able to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves. Family is family, yes, but at the end of the day, this is about us. And so I have to be able to accept the fact that it's time for you to go in a different direction. That door closed for a reason, Vanessa. Now, are you willing to go through the door that is presented? Because we're good for praying for an opportunity, and the first one to run from it, that was me. I no longer wanted to be that person. So I had to go through a mind shift program for myself, and just to be able to say, enough already. Enough of this, why me? Enough of this pity party. Enough of this depression. Enough of it. Now what are you going to do? And so an opportunity was presented. And it was crazy because the same opportunity was presented to me. It was presented to me when I had a job. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens. Opportunities happen every single day. Every single day. And we overlook them. We'll make an excuse. Oh, I can't afford that. Oh, I can't do that. We're good at that. We're good at making excuses. And so going through mind shift, I no longer could be that person. And so I took a leap of faith. I invested in myself while I was collecting my unemployment checks. That was the most scariest thing ever, ever. Because I got these kids. My money is not the same like it was when I had a job. It's really funky now because I got this unemployment. So I'm like, okay, I know this is not going to last, but I need to do something while I'm getting it, Mm-hmm. And so I took a leap of faith. I invested $400 or almost $500, I believe, into myself, into my business, into learning how I could be able to have a successful business and turn this money around, And I've been blessed. I didn't say it was easy, but I've been completely blessed because I didn't quit when I wanted to. Because I didn't throw in a towel and turn and just say, oh, this is not for me. I have to accept the fact that it's my time, it's my season. This was presented to you for a reason. And in order for it to work, you need to get to work. And so I went to work. I allowed myself to be a student. I sat at the foot of successful people, and I learned this thing. I learned it, and it's a totally different field. I come from the administrative field. That's typing the letters. That's dealing with the president. That's all of those things. Now I'm in a business of having a successful business at home in direct sales. I'm not a salesperson. That's our first thing we love to say. Oh, I don't sell. No.
Right.
It's the industry. The industry everything has to have a label to it. It's the industry. It doesn't make sense. And that's what caught my attention. It made sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. You telling me I can make money off these bills that I'm still paying right now? Really? And save money off these same bills? Are you sure? And so I said, you know what, you would never know if you don't ever try, right? If you don't put your all into it, you will never know. Because people are very skeptical. Because, again, it goes back to we're taught to go to school, get our education, and we're taught to get a job. Nothing about investing in ourselves.
Right.
And so I was able to work my business, and man, I've been blessed. I've been blessed. I've been so blessed. And it has nothing to do with money. It's just like the personal development that you receive, the accomplishment of your goals that you thought you would never achieve, the freedom to be able to work wherever I could travel and I'm working. I could be working from my phone. I've been out running errands all day and I was working from my phone. Now all I need is a charger all the time, but yeah. But I'm working from my phone, right? So how can you be working from your phone and then you work to the point, and the crazy part about it, I work on a part-time basis just in one of my business, and I make more money than I ever made working a job.
Wow.
Now, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
But what if I didn't take a risk? What if you know what I mean? And so it was like, wait a minute, this is just the most craziest thing ever. But again, when you're not taught it, when you're not open, that's what happens. That's exactly what happens. And I didn't want to be that person. I no longer wanted to be that old person of saying this is not possible. And I'm a positive person. But if I'm the type of person to make excuses as to, oh, that won't be me, then that means I'm going back to that old person, right?
Right.
And so I had to be open, and I had to be willing to take action, because we could talk all we want, but if you're not willing to take action and to be able to help other people, because other people are hurting, other people are missing an opportunity to be with their families. I'm a Gigi now. I have 2 grandbabies. So if my babies are coming to the house, then what happens? I could stop what I'm doing. I could spend that time with them. I missed that opportunity with my kids because I had to get up and go to work. I had to drop them off at daycare. Then they have to go to after-school program. And then I had to leave work to come back home, get to, pick them up, go home, do dinner, do chores at home, and then get back up and do it again. That's not life. That is not life. So you have to be able to say, I could put 2 hours into my business every day and pick whatever 2 hours that you want to do it. I don't care how the heck you do it. If you get an hour of lunch, take 30 minutes and put it into your business, right? And then on your way home, take another 30 minutes. And then, when you get home after you get the kids settled down, then there's another 30 minutes or maybe an hour you could put into your business. Imagine doing that for the next 3 to 5 years versus 40. Now they're making us 40 to 50 years. I'd rather take 3 to 5 years any day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Imagine if you're not doing anything for that 3 to 5 years, then what?
Exactly. Exactly. So if you're struggling on your job right now financially, or you're miserable on your job right now, imagine you're going to be just as miserable when it's time for your retirement, because you think you're going to be getting that 100% of your retirement. That's not true. It's not true. You know what I mean? So we have to be able to invest in something that's going to give us value. You know what I mean? And make sure that whatever it is that you're going to invest in, do your research. Allow yourself to be a student and get yourself to work.
Right, and I think also when you get into a business that you research and you find that it makes sense, you don't have to feel like you're selling anything, because then you're like, okay, if you don't want this, something is wrong with you.
Exactly. And so I tell people all the time, I don't have products and services in my car going door to door. None of that. I have a website. You go to my website and you can go right on there and see every single thing. I'm working with an Inc. 500 company. So of course they're going to want to work with other Inc. 500 companies. That's how they, you know what I mean? And so they don't have A+ rating for no reason. Right. You know what I mean? So just be able to do that, it was just like, man, I couldn't stop. When I seen this opportunity, this is the crazy part. When I seen this opportunity, I could not stop thinking about it. I was like, dang, are you trying to tell me something? And so I was like, okay, Vanessa, stop making excuses. No, next week. And that means I'm going back to that old person. And so I said, forget it. I'm going to stop what I'm doing. Let me do it right now. And I got to work. I got to work immediately. immediately. And I was able to flip my money around in 30 days or less. I think I tripled or quadrupled my money in 30 days or less. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? And so just by doing that, it allowed me to be able to make more money. And then on top of that, I was able to help more people. So it's just helping people to be able to get what they want. And trust and believe God's going to bless you with what you need.
And I think what you said about mindset, that's so powerful because we allow, like, a lot of people around us, our friends or family, they're still in that 9-to-5 mindset as well. So we can get excited about an idea, and then we just let our family and our friends just talk us out of it because they think it won't work, and then we'll never get started.
That is so true. I have a lot of people who when I'm connecting with people, you'll hear their stories or the first thing they say, oh, my family won't support me on that. Hold on, let's stop. And it goes back to, wait a minute, are they going to sit there and take care of your retirement? We got to go back to that. Are they going to help you pay for your kids' college fund? Or maybe how about paying that college, help your kids pay that college off? You know what I mean? I had to learn, we learn the hard way, but when you know better, you're supposed to do better, right? And so I'm able to teach my children that you see mom get up every single day and work in a job and to be home, be tired, be miserable, and don't have no time for you guys. And sometimes, lately, I tell my kids now, it's like, dang, it seems like I'm just a homemaker, which is crazy. You know, I'm a homemaker where I'm now, like, you know, washing dishes and cooking more. I'm like, wait a minute, something is not right. Something is totally not right. And so it is the most craziest thing ever. It's the most craziest thing. But at the same time, imagine how much I was missing. You know what I mean? That's the crazy thing. I missed that much, and I never really realized that I missed it. You know what I mean? So now with my grandkids come on over, I'm able to sit there and get up and do those little things with them. You know, before my daughter leaves out to go to school, or I'm able to have a hot meal for her, or when she's coming in, she's a hot meal. I'm just like, oh my goodness, am I a housemaker? What the heck is But I just realized it took all of that for me to realize I really, truly missed a lot. I missed so much and didn't even realize that's how much I really missed it. And that's something you can't get back. I got young adults now. My last one is just turned 18. So imagine if I was working in corporate America for 20 years. I've been on my own for 5 years. So that means 15 years just for my son alone, not including my girls. How much did I miss? I can't get that back. You know what I mean? But what I can do to show them now is that you see mom struggle. But now you see the other side of it is when you decide and make a decision. That's the thing. That's that mindset. Once you make a decision that you're not looking back and you're going to move forward, you have no excuses as who in your ear. You're going to automatically be like, you know, blocking them off left and right. Block them off. And if you don't block them off, you can continue to let them penetrate all the negative nonsense because they didn't believe in themselves. So at the end of the day, are you going to let them think for you, or are you going to think for yourself and make a decision that you want more for your family, for your future? Because I don't think nobody want to sit in a rocking chair at 65 and then look back and say, dang, I only got enough money for retirement. I can't really travel. I haven't really traveled. You know what I mean? That's a problem.
Or they're going back to work.
Exactly. They're at Walmart. That's where they're at.
Right. I feel sometimes I feel bad. Like I go to Macy's or I go to Walmart and I'm looking at the lady ringing me up and I'm just thinking she should be home relaxing and enjoying her retirement.
And you know, I was in Walmart. When you say that now, I was in Walmart and I was overheard this guy say he was in the banking industry for over 10 years. Over 10 years. I mean, that man gave me like the best customer service. I'm like, dang, it's hard to find customer service. And so when he said that, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And he wasn't a supervisor, he wasn't a manager, he was a cashier. And I said, oh, and this is an older guy.
Mm-hmm.
I said, my goodness, this gotta be a joke somewhere. This is not life. But again, you have to make a decision. What are you going to do? Are you going to make a decision to continue to follow what everybody else is doing and you see that they are miserable, or are you going to make a decision to say you deserve better? That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I took more. Like, I was doing so many things after that. People kept reaching out to me to be able to coach them on things. And I was like, I'm not doing no coaching. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. But in turn, I would do it, but I wouldn't do it. And so
you was doing it for free already.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, my God. I said, okay. And so now it's like to the point where it got out of hand with the coaching, not in a bad way, in a good way. And I was like, you know what, I need to pray on this, because I know what I was missing when I was starting this journey of being an entrepreneur. I didn't understand it. I didn't know, you got to do, again, it's that mind shift. You have that W-2 mind shift, and you got to shift it over to the 1099. Not trying to be funny, but you have to shift it. I ain't say quit your job. What I'm saying is that you just have a W-2 that's going to pay your bills, but you're working on that 1099 that's going to fund your future. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the shifting come into place. And so I knew when I was on this journey and for the long haul, that I know I didn't have anybody to coach me on that part of, getting your mind right, because it's so easy. I mean, oh, my God, so easy to revert back to your old ways. And they say it takes 21 days in order for you to get your mind on track. That means you got to cut off the old ways. If it's, watching reality shows, and people say they don't have time to put into their business, but I'm just saying, if that means, talking on the phone, gossiping with your friends, or going out with your girlfriends, or those type of things, that means you could have been putting into your business, right? And so I have to be able to really boggle down and just be like, shut it off, like stop it completely. So now with me and my girlfriends, when we do connect, they was finding out, getting an update on all the things that I was doing. They said, wait a minute, hold on, what? Because I shut everything down to be able to look, I need to focus in right here. It doesn't mean that I don't love you. At the end of the day, I need to be able to do this because I no longer want to be back in corporate America. Mm-hmm. I am mentally unstable to work for anybody else. I'm just saying, I'm mentally unstable, because working in that cubicle, that's a box. If people don't even pay attention to it, a cubicle is four ways, right? Mm-hmm. They only have 3 walls, right? The 3 sides is one way in and there's one way out.
That's right.
So if you're gonna keep that cubicle mindset, then you could go ahead and stay on that job. But if you want to think outside of that cubicle, now you're on your way. Right. But it's strictly up to you. So I have to really boggle down. And then I just launched my mindset coaching program, which is crazy. I just launched that a couple of months ago. And it's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. People been calling me from all over the place, and now I'm about to get ready to do something bigger with that, having a group session to be able to help more people. Yes, to help more people who's just starting out in their journey and being an entrepreneur, and those that's like in midway through but ready to take their business to another level. Yes. I'm doing that as well. You talking about exciting? Jesus. I never thought I would be doing that. And then, motivational speaking, I've been doing that for a while, but somebody called me on the speaking at an event. And I was like, what? I'm not speaking at an event. What do you mean? I don't know what to say. And I spoke for 10 minutes, and the news feed blew up, and so many people started reaching out to me. And I was like, oh, my God. So when you're willing to share your story, then you will be amazed at how many people you could be able to embark on just to the notion of changing their lives. And that's what it's about. It's not about me and, Vanessa's doing all these amazing things. No. It's about letting you know that it's so possible. Because I'm a single mom. And even though I'm a single mom, this single mom still needs to be able to have a life. And so I have young adults, right? So they're going to be going out doing their thing. What about me? You know, I want to still be able to have a successful business, still travel the world, and doing what I love to do. I love all the things that I'm doing. I have multiple streams of income now versus working a job that laid me off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's happening to more and more people. And I tell people all the time, you can have your job, you can love your job. That is completely fine. You can make 6 figures on that job. But trust and believe, the more money you make it with a W-2, the IRS, you're giving more money away to them.
That's right, and there's no loyalty. They want all your loyalty, but they have no loyalty to you.
None at all. None at all. So when you have, and I say this often, either you could be a write-off or you could be written off. Pick one. You could be a write-off or you could be written off. It's up to you, and it's all go back to that mindset and that decision. That's all. That is truly. We are the worst critics. You know, I could, talk about these things because I walk that walk. I would beat myself up when so much money started coming in at the beginning of my business. I was like, wait a minute, this can't be real. I was like self-sabotaging my business. This can't be real. This is going to stop. And I was like, okay. And then it was like when I had those leaps and the valleys in the business, see, there you go. That's that mindset. That's our mindsets are so messed up. We got a toxicity up in there. We gotta, you gotta divorce some people. Let's be clear. You got to divorce some people, and you got to divorce yourself, that mindset, from just all the garbage that's been implanted into your head for all of those years and what others told you. I'm not saying just ignore what people told you, but you got to be able to willing to upgrade yourself. Okay?
Because
so
what happens? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, because think about it. Remember how back in, I'm probably showing my age now, but back when they used to have the big computers and they used to call them CPUs and they'd be in a different room, and then we have I think it's the DOS and a typewriter, and they'd be in one room, and if something goes wrong with that big old machine, they got to go in that other room just to get it together. But then somebody found the way. They worked that thing. And now, what do we have? We have a tablet. We have the phones that's like a computer in our hands. You telling me, come on now, they upgraded. What's wrong with you? You still living in the analog phones. You still living in where we have to turn the channels with our knobs. No, you have to upgrade, just not with technology, upgrade your life. Don't be afraid of upgrading your life. And if anybody don't understand it, it's okay. But remember, this is your life. What are you going to leave in between the dashes? There's a time when we born, and then there's a time when it's time for us to go on home. What are you doing in between that time while you're here? Because we never know when our time is up. But while we're here, what are you going to do with it? What legacy are you willing to build? What brick and mortar are you willing to put to work in order for you to build your empire? That's where your kids can be able to look back on and say, I know my mom struggled, but I know that my mom found a better way. And now I see that there's a better way. I need to carry this on for my parents. That's what it's about. So we have to be able not to only mold our babies while they're here, but why are we not going to mold ourselves as adults, as mothers, just to make sure that we're good? Because they're going to go off and have their family. Do you want them to have a family, repeat the same thing that you did of the struggle, and then now that you know better, you're not going to show your children better? No, there's better. But you got to be open to do the work.
Right, because they're watching. The kids are watching us and everything we do. So it's like, do you want them to think that it's okay your daughters to think, okay, when I become a mom, it's okay for me to put everything into my family and be miserable? Or do they want to see a mom work hard and accomplish great things and be happy?
Sometimes I'm speechless by the amazing things, the amazing transformation that's taken place because I made a decision. And just for this year alone, I can't even count how many people reach out to me. I can't even count. And I had made an announcement on Periscope earlier this week, and I said that my team and I, we're helping more and more people to be able to teach them for 2016 how to make six figures from their phone. And once I did that, it just went crazy. And sometimes we got to allow ourselves to be uncomfortable. And that's one of the things that I said I want God to continue to keep me uncomfortable. Keep me uncomfortable because I know that you're preparing me for something bigger and for me to be able to do the work, because there's nothing going to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody be doing it, right? And so it's no right now gratification. But when you allow me to be uncomfortable and for me to be able to dig through the dirt to be able to get to the soil, and then to once to see that from the soil there were some seeds, and from the seeds there was a trunk, and from the trunk there were some leaves, and look what happened. You have to be willing just to know there's a reason. You can't complain, but there's a reason for that lesson. And so now that I know the lesson, here I am. I'm going to have 2 books coming out the first quarter of this year. Are you serious? How is all of this stuff taking place after being laid off? That's crazy. Thank you. I am blessed. It will be exactly 3 years I've been working for myself in March. March, yeah. That is crazy.
That is. People are working careers for 10, 20, 25 years, and nothing to show for. Nothing.
And for me to be able to go from unemployed to a motivational speaker, to have a successful business from indirect sales, working from home, to turn around to have, next I'll be an author, Jesus, fix it, and then turn around now a mindset coach. What is going on here? And I'm not even talking about the amazing things that I'm working on this year already on a conference that I'm working on. Yeah. If somebody reached out to me, a big wig person, I'm working with someone right now to be able to put on an empowerment conference.
Wow.
So people need to understand, you know what I'm saying? In order for you people to hear your story, I need you to speak. And in order for you to speak, I need to hear some words to come out your mouth. Because you never know who you could touch with the words that's coming out of your mouth. Because my story won't be the same as the next person's story. But see, that's your story. And once you have this vision that you could be able to turn into reality, what's wrong with that? God gave you the vision. He didn't give me the vision. He gave you the vision. He already provisioned the vision for you. You just got to get to work.
That's right.
Okay. I'm going to stay right here then.
You mentioned when we first started, you spoke about the why. Talk about how important the why is when you're pursuing your dreams.
The why, I tell people all the time, your why needs to be so strong, so big, that it makes you cry. If your why is not making you cry, you need to go back and try it again. Just like if you wake up every day and you haven't no goals, no plans for the day, for the week, for the month, you need to go back to bed and try it again. Every day, you have to have a reason. Why did you get up? We're good. Moms, we are the most emotional people ever. We say, we got to do it for the kids. We got to do it for the kids. That was me. I understand. I'm a single mom. I couldn't call mom and dad and say, can you help me with these babies? No. I had to figure it out. And so we're good to say we have to go and do this for our children, but what about us? What about us? You know what I mean? Like I said, my kids, I have young adults. They out doing their thing. Well, then what happens to mom? When I'm not entitled to have a life? And that was my problem. I missed all of that, but now that I know better, please.
Doing better. Doing much better.
Traveling around the world. They better stop.
And you also touched a little bit about the importance of investing in yourself. And I think that a lot of people, they hold on tight to their pocketbooks because they think that they're just giving away money. They're not thinking about what they're getting back in return. They don't think about the investment, the personal development, the accountability that they're getting when they invest in themselves or when they invest in a coach, for an example.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a coach is good, especially for the people that are in, like, the 9-to-5 mentality. They're used to having a boss standing there telling them what to do and what not to do. But when you take that away and it's just yourself, you don't have anybody there to hold you accountable, so you're kind of like stagnant.
Yeah. Yes, it's very important to invest. If that's in a coach, if that's in, it all depends on what type of coach too. Mm-hmm. I tell people all the time, I'm not a relationship coach. I'm not a life coach. I'm none of that. I'm a mindset coach. And the reason why I'm a mindset coach is because our mind, it starts with the mind.
It does.
Because I can tell you about my life. My life is interesting. I come from dysfunctional. I could go all the way into it. And then I could be able to tell you about relationships. I wrote a chapter in my upcoming book about relationships. I could do that. Mm-hmm. But there's no better gratification of working on that mind. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Working on that mind, because the mind, it spreads out everywhere, right? So let's give an example. So if your life is all jacked up, just really jacked up, and you're too busy pointing the fingers at everybody else, did you really look in the mirror?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you keep going into these different relationships and you run into the same people that's doing harm to you by whatever reason, and they the same knuckleheads but in a different type of, they look different, but they the same type of knuckleheads at the end of the day, are you looking at why you keep running into these same people? What's the root of that, right? Mm-hmm. So that's life and that's relationships. I can go all the way into it. But it all goes back to your mind. You have to be able to know how to love yourself enough so you could be able to receive some real love. You'll know what that is when you are loving on you more, when you know how to date yourself and you don't have to worry about somebody dating you. You know what I'm saying? Right. Same thing with your life. You too busy talking about your mama and daddy that did you wrong, but at the end of the day, that's all they probably could give you at that time. So are you going to hold on to that, and now you're going to transfer it into your life, and now you done turned around and had these children, and then now you're treating your children the same way that your parents done did you, and now you're having a pity party. See, I can go all the way there. But again,
yeah, you better
it goes back. So again, what does it go back to? That mindset. So that's why I tell people I'm the mindset coach. I want to go all the way in. I might hurt your feelings, and that's not the problem. Because I honestly believe somebody told me this before, and I was like, oh, my God, that sounds so mean. She said, Vanessa, you got to accept the fact you're in the business hurting people's feelings. I said, what'd you say? She said, think about it, because you are so bold. You are so unapologetic. I said, you're right. And the reason why I'm like that is not saying I'm better than anybody else or boast about it. What I want you guys to understand is that too many times people have sugarcoat so much mess. The government sugarcoats so much mess. You know what I mean? Society, so much mess. No, let's be real with it. Right? And so when you're real with it, you're going to say, well, she didn't water it down. No, I'm not going to water it down. Because when they say that we hit a depression, no, we didn't hit a depression. We hit something harder than that. because so many people wasn't able to find a job, and I was one of them. Some say that it's getting better. It didn't get any better, right? Everything is continuing to rise, but people not making that money to be able to pay what you keep on raising up to say, oh, we need the deficit of this. We got to cover this. We so much in debt. We so much in the red. We're trying to get back in the black. And who's paying the cost for that? We are.
Right.
So, no, we can't sugarcoat that. We can't sugarcoat none of that. You know what I mean? And so that's why I don't apologize. I do not apologize at all. I don't.
That's
nothing personal.
That's the way you want it. You want to hear the truth. Sometimes it hurts, but
yeah. I would rather give it to you real, raw, and uncut than versus watering down and then you find out later. That's not fair. That is not fair. You know what I mean? So let's be real with it. So now that I know better, I want to be able to let people know that there's a better way. There's a way, way better way. And that's why it goes back to, are you going to be a write-off, or are you going to, which one you want to be? I could write a whole lot of stuff off now because I have a 1099. But when I was written off, that means you're an employee and your CEO is writing you off. So that means that's more money coming into that business, and it's not giving you no value. It's just giving you a check for 2 weeks that you traded for them hours. If it's 40 to 50 hours, that is it. And don't try to go in overtime, because now you're going to turn around and pay the IRS more money, and then you wonder why you're not getting any money back. I worked an extra 10 hours. No, the more money you make, the more taxes. That's all you're doing.
Right.
But we're not educated on that. They do not teach us that in school. They teach us to go to school to be in debt. How do you come out of school to be in debt? And then you wonder why you can't get out of debt, because the jobs are not paying you enough, and majority of people who have these degrees don't even go into the field that they went to school for. So how can they pay for something that they, hello, let's
That's true. I was just having this conversation a few weeks ago with a couple of friends about the college thing. That's the whole conversation itself.
Oh, another conversation.
But Vanessa, why don't you give us some more information about your business as far as like the direct sales business and the Inspired by Vanessa coaching business? How could the ladies that are listening get more information on those and get involved in that?
Well, you just will be able to reach out to me on my website at InspiredByVanessa.com, InspiredByVanessa.com. You could be able to connect with me and with a coaching, just see if we're a good fit. And then if you want to be able to work with me in direct sales, you could be able to make you some additional money. Then there's that also is listed on my website at InspiredByVanessa.com. And then I will be able to I'm helping people personally train them in the direct sales industry to be able to make 6 figures this year. And you just got to be willing to do the work.
Right.
And trust and believe. When you are around people that's positive, people that want to see you successful, and you having fun with it, it's like, my goodness, it makes it more worth your while. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that don't even cost anything, but it makes so much worth your while. And so I have all of those things listed on my website, and my coaching program that I have coming up, I'm going to do, it's going to be absolutely huge. My books is going to be listed on there. So every single thing is InspiredByVanessa.com. My email, you can email me at InspiredByVanessa at gmail.com. That way I get it quicker. And just let me know, how can I be able to assist you? If maybe you're not interested in direct sales, but you have something that you want to be able to do you have a business that you want to grow, or you want to start a business, you're trying to get to the next level, you're trying to unparalyze your fear, whatever the case may be, then contact me.
And I'll make sure I get I have your email address and your website. I'll make sure I get all your social media links and everything and have that available to everybody that's listening as well. I have 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
And the first question is, what last message do you want to give to all the moms out there that are using the lack of funds as an excuse to get started?
Oh, don't do that. Do not do that. That is the worst thing you could do. Because think about it. If you really have something that needs to be fixed in your home, if there's a car that got to be fixed, the bills that got to be paid, you're going to find that money, right? Okay, then. Find that money and invest in your business. That's why I started in direct sales, because I was not able to go to the bank and get the money. I wasn't able to get the money from my family. I wasn't able to put thousands of dollars in franchise with McDonald's or whatever. But I was able to get invest in this business where it's allowed me not only to get the perks of the bonuses, the higher up that you go into business, but I'm able to pay my bills. I'm able to do more things. So if you just imagine with me taking that $400 and $400 to $500, I can't remember it was 3 years ago. but just imagine, that's a little money compared to investing into a McDonald's or Starbucks or what have you.
Right.
That's a little money that you could be able to take and to be able to invest in a business, and imagine how much money you'll get back in no time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But so don't make that an excuse. Do not. That's the worst thing you could do. Because when Christmas time come around, are you making an excuse for your kids not to, you know what I mean? I will go on and on about that one. I will go on. I tell people all the time, how is it that you take care of your kids all year long? I was terrible with it. We take care of our kids all year long, and we know that Christmas time is coming around. We want to make sure they have a real good Christmas.
Yep.
But you were struggling all this time to take care of them all 10 months. 10 months, because it really starts in November, December, right? And so now I'm about to get ready to put some money to the side to make sure that my kids got a good Christmas. But then you turn around, wait for tax money to come around in January so you can turn around and be broke again for the next 10 months. I keep telling people, stop doing that. Don't do that, because you're setting your children up to show them this is how we do it. I'm going to take care of you all month. I'm going to take care of you the next month. And then, I'm going to really do it real big because here's Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
You just showboating, but you're broke.
And my final question is, what legacy do you want to leave behind? When it's all said and done, what do you want your life story to be?
Inspired by Vanessa means empowerment that speaks to your soul. I can speak to your heart all day long. I can have a piece of your heart to take with me. Mm-hmm. But when I speak to your soul, I want you to move. I want you to know that I'm speaking to you because it's going to shake up some things so you could go into the next level, whatever that may be in your life. And so when my children look back and they see how much their mom accomplished, and just when you guys read my story, you're going to be like, how the heck did this girl get over? Because I continue to move. I continue to pray. I continue to stay grounded. I continue to stay humble. And I still, even though I went through so much hardship in my life, it did not define me. I still got back up. No matter how much I cried, how bad my head hurt, how much it felt like I had lack of, I got up every day fighting. I learned how to eat no's for breakfast every day, because no's mean next opportunity. So every day there's another opportunity to get it right. So am I going to continue to live my life just because somebody said no to me? Is I'm going to continue? How are you living your life with shoulda, coulda, woulda? Mm-hmm. So that's not the life and a legacy I want to leave, not only for my children, but my children's children. So they could look back and say, dang, that was one woman who didn't take no punching. But instead, she got up swinging every day. Every time the enemy was attacking, she was swinging. Because I'm a fighter. Mm-hmm. I come from nothing. So what did I have to lose? I'm going to fight my way through this thing called life. And I'm going to be the best damn woman there's going to be. So when you look back and see, who is Vanessa Canteberry? That woman was a fighter. The woman didn't give up. Mm-hmm. She don't care what you said, or what you thought of her or what you thought tried to, it's still in her. If it wasn't nothing positive, it wasn't a benefit to be able to improve and involve her, she didn't take it. Because every day we got another day to get it right. But it's up to you.
That's right. Wow, it's very inspiring. And like you can have a great coach, but, you know, a huge percent of it is you. You got to do the work.
So
thank you. I want to thank you again, Vanessa. I'm so glad that you decided to be with us today and be on this conference call and inspire these ladies. And I want to thank everybody for listening. And I'm going to have Vanessa's contact information, her website, Instagram, and Periscope available to you guys. And I hope everyone have a great day. Until next time, God bless.